So previously I've discussed about the importance of having police body cameras, but today I'm going to be talking about 3 common misconceptions that are misleading as to why police departments think they shouldn't have them. So first we'll look at who will be having to pay these cameras. So the citizens will have to pay these cameras. But won't this cause taxes to be increased and more money for the government to use our tax dollars to increase the budget for them to use? And the cameras at the end of the day are machinery and cannot be reliable. But according to Joel Anderson, that the payouts for lawsuits involving police are staggering, and the liability for lawsuits are being reduced. So as well, and so the government has money in their budget because of this. And in the same article, Anderson states reveals that studies have shown the effectiveness of these police cameras and the amount of money being spent in courts involving policemen. And so ultimately the cameras are being paid for themselves. Now, a solution to ensure the cameras don't fail is to have the officers after each shift to return their equipment like they would do any uniform to the department. So at the end of the day, they can retrieve those videos and also to do any maintenance on the cameras and to make sure they're updated. And the second claim is that cameras can affect the officers in a negative mental way. And the officers can question everything they do, and it could be catastrophic in the field and may cause the police or people in general not to function properly under supervision. So also these cameras may be very bulky and weigh down officers and may get in the way or cause disruptions. Now, ways to ensure that these don't occur is to have smaller cameras, as seen in the picture, and also to have, when officers show signs of inconsistency, to have them not to have that constant fear to show off. It's that to have the officers trained, to have new methods for these officers to be trained, or to have additional training to ensure they don't question themselves. For example, I'm a CNA, so when we have like a lot of patients that are coming up with a bunch of UTIs and stuff, the CNAs have additional classes, like updates, like make sure you're doing hand washing skills right. So we have to sign off, and that's one of our requirements to be a CNA. But also when we have a lot of those, we have to make sure we're doing it right and to make sure we're doing it the correct way and to ensure safety. Now, the last claim is the most concerning is the invasion of privacy for these civilians. So mostly these body camera videos are not public. So not everybody is going to see these videos. And even if they are, it's specified by the courts. And even then, they will make sure the witnesses or the victims themselves are protected. So that brings me to the second part, using these videos as evidence. That whether it's to protect officers from false accusations or even offenders, to make sure they're being punished. Otherwise, they would have easily gotten away because the evidence wasn't there. Like, for example, there was an officer in Baltimore that he was caught by body cameras, that he was planting drugs in the crime scene. So these cameras are really beneficial sometimes. And in conclusion, these cameras can do more good than harm by lowering lawsuits involving police, having better trained officers with smaller cameras, and the use of these videos as evidence to any offender, whoever they may be.
Good stuff.
I can